everyone. Welcome to the Sleepless Podcast. My name is Jared Thomas, as always, and I'm here interviewing people that are much more qualified than me in just about every aspect of life. And another massive guest here today. Right. So, little resume here. Picked 51 in the 2017 rookie draft. Play the game. The original boy with a mullet and a dream. Superstar himself, Max Lynch. Max, how are you?
Hey, Ron. Yeah, very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Mate, I've been following you for a very long time. You are probably the funniest bloke I've ever known.
Bloody hell.
Me and a few of my mates absolutely love you. And when you got your debut last year, we were very, very rowdy for you.
Yeah.
Superstar.
I was up and about as well, but didn't do too much in the game, but got it nonetheless.
Yeah, we'll definitely touch on it later. But, mate, it was just good to see, the dream finally pay off and Bucks give you that first game. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was good. Great experience.
Yeah. So early life, you grew up in Albury, and now you're obviously living in Melbourne.
Yeah.
You played for the Jindera Bulldogs and just the Albury Footy Club as well, obviously.
Albury and Jindera. No, it's Albury and Jindera.
There you go. Oh, Jindera.
Yeah. Jindera, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep. No, fair enough. And obviously then the Murray Bushrangers as well.
Yeah.
As always. But I didn't know this. You actually had a soccer background.
Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't start playing footy till, I played a couple of games here and there in the under 16s, but I didn't actually play proper footy until I was in year 10 or 11.
Oh, shit.
I played soccer up until then. So that was my sport. I played for Riverina and New South in soccer. I was goalkeeper in the higher levels and things, and I'd come to Melbourne every bloody Saturday to train. Big efforts from mum and dad in the car, and but I sort of fell out of love with it in year 10 and got sick of being the big kid who always touched someone, they'd fall over and I'd get a free kick against me. So I thought, stuff this, I'll go play footy. So went out and played at the Gindy Bulldogs.
Yep.
Just with a bunch of mates and played in the thirds, and I reckon I was 6'5" and bloody had 4 foot guys playing on me. So I was a terrible footballer, but just my height alone probably made me stand out. And then decided to move in and play for Albury Tigers. Played some good footy and then selected for Murray Bushrangers and sort of went from there.
Yeah, that's awesome. So obviously in 2016 you played in the Allies squad, which we did speak about off recording before. You played with Will Hayward as well. Was there any other boys in that team that you played with that are in the AFL now, or?
Oh, well, probably most of them actually that played in that game are in the AFL. I don't remember a hell of a lot from the game itself, but I remember a couple of blokes absolutely dominating. I remember Tim Taranto absolutely tore it up, kicked about 1,000 goals.
He's a local boy sort of to hear, so that's always good shit.
So I remember him specifically. I had a couple of mates who I played, in the Albury sort of footy with.
Yep.
Playing the game. A couple of Murray Bushrangers and that played in it. And I'm pretty sure, I remember playing Will Hayward and that because we sort of took the piss a lot off field, in all the trainings and shit around the hotels and stuff. So I became friends with him a bit. Most of them are in the AFL somewhere.
Yeah,
or have been in the AFL.
Yeah, so you spoke about the Bushrangers as well. Was there anyone in that Bushrangers side that sort of come along as well, or just?
Oh, there was something like 11 of us that got drafted from that team.
Yeah.
So it was a big draft group. Had a fair few go in the top 10, I think.
Footy Factory.
Yeah. Murray Bushrangers Footy Factory. I think it was Jai Simpkin.
Oh yeah.
Or off the top of my head, Will Brodie, Asava Radaglia, Todd Marshall, Lockie Tiziani, Zach Sproul, me, Harry Morrison, Ryan Garthwaite, James Cousins, and geez, I'm going to look like a real prick if I can't remember.
I was going to say, that was impressive off the top of your head. That was rattling them off.
That's what I'm trying to think about, but then I'm sure I've forgotten I've definitely forgotten someone, but I'm gonna hate myself, and I'm gonna remember as soon as I get off air.
You might have to text me and be like, just add him in quickly. Just
Yeah,
make sure.
can you edit that in? Get my phone to edit that in.
That's funny. Also in your early life as well, because you know I'm a serial Instagram stalker and I'm very good at it. Did you used to own a wombat?
Well, yeah, we didn't own him.
Yeah.
But so my dad had a mate at Wires, and we've done it a couple of times, but we've always lived on a little bit of property, like whether it's in Albury or a bit out of Albury. So, yeah, we had this little fella that his mum died in a car accident, then we had to like sort of look after him a bit. But the place before us babied him a bit too much and sort of humanised him, so he wasn't really doing what wombat should do.
Yeah.
He should be out in the wild and looking after himself. So we just sort of had a home for him, and you know, we'd feed him and stuff, and then he'd come and harass us in the middle of the night. He was a bipolar little thing. He, 1 minute he'd be all about you and loving you and stuff, and then next thing you know, he's trying to bite your leg off.
Oh,
and,
there you go.
Yeah. And then one day when he got big and hormonal, he cracked the shits and left.
Really?
Oh, well, kind of. He wandered up over the hill, and then he went to a construction site, and the people were like, what the hell is this wombat doing here? They called the council, and the council relocated him, but it was probably time for him to go anyway. He was getting too cranky.
There you go. Wait, that's pretty good. You always hear about sort of the exotic pets and that. That'd be a pet that I'd love to have, just a wombat.
Yeah, well, I've got some incredible photos where he it was bad, but he'd like crack the shits until you let him jump on the bed and stuff, and he'd go to sleep under the covers and stuff where it's nice and dark. And yeah, he was crazy.
That's like, yeah, I think the photo that I saw was you laying on bed and he was like across the top of your head, like on your pillow or something like that, or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Dad called him the Wom Hat. Grab on the head, go to sleep there.
That's really good. I like that. So obviously after all of that, and you got into footy, and then you ended up having your draft. You ended up going in the rookie draft.
Yeah.
Did you think you were going to get picked in the national draft, or?
Well, mine was really my draft year was really weird actually for me. Because I kind of always, my plan was to get drafted, but manager pretty much said to me, like, look, mate, you could go anywhere between like pick 25 and not at all in the draft. So I was like, bloody hell, you're not giving me a good indication. No. It's like, yeah, okay, 25 and not at all. I'll just see what happens. And then, so it turns out I didn't get picked in the national, and I was pretty flat. And I was actually working for my uncle at the time, landscaping. So I was landscaping, said, sorry, mate, got to piss off, go watch the rookie draft, see if I get picked up. And then, I pretty much turned off the phone, and then I got this notification saying, pick 51 or whatever you said it was. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Max Lynch to the GWS Giants. And I was like, Giants, right? Here you go. I'm moving to Sydney sort of thing. And then I got this call probably 5-10 minutes later, and they've gone, oh, mate, like, do you know what's just happened? I've gone, yeah, I've just got picked up to the Giants. And they go, no, you haven't, mate. You got picked up to us, the Pies. And I'm like, whoa, that's so much better. Like, I don't have to move too far away from home.
That's good.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. A bit of a mishap on the.
I was going to say, that's actually quite funny that
online. Apparently it's not the first time it's happened either.
I was going to say, after a few minutes, you would have probably been told like all the people that sort of mattered at that point, and then you had to retell them and be like, by the way, going to Melbourne. It's not
exactly. Sydney. Or what if I get a call from Bucks or somebody goes, then I'm like, what am I getting a call from Bucks for? I'm like, I'm moving to Sydney.
They loved you so much they wanted the trade as soon as you got picked there, clearly.
Yeah. All right, could have picked me first round then. You know?
Were there any clubs sort of like talking around, like about you or like circling like around you before the draft? Did you have any ideas of where you would go?
Like sort of the pre-draft process, you sort of talk to a bunch of clubs. So I talked to a fair few anyway, like whether they came to Albury or I just met them at the National Combine or anything like that. So I sort of talked here and there. They're pretty good. They keep their cards close to their chest. So I didn't really know sort of what they were thinking in terms of how serious, but I felt like I did well in, all the talking and the interview process and things. But it was just just a matter of what players were still there earlier in the draft or who gets picked up where,
That's right. Yeah. You said that you were landscaping or like you were working as a landscaper, was the call after you got picked up basically just being like, I'm quitting sort of thing? Like, I have to go and move?
It was my uncle, so I couldn't really cut ties too much. Sorry, mate. I'm not coming to Christmas either. No, it was it was fine. He's good. So he just sort of like I've worked on and off with him since I was probably in year 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Progressively less of a crap worker as well on that time.
As you got along.
Paid $10 an hour cash in year 9.
Yeah.
But to do not much work. So yeah, and then even during the COVID break this year, actually, I was working with him like most days, just to, I don't know, have something to do, but also just get a little bit more cash over the time when I'm at home doing nothing.
Absolutely.
Also losing the plot and making videos and stuff.
We'll touch on those videos because they are some of the funniest videos just of all time. And I like your Instagram's great. We'll go sort of to your first year of footy. So how was it sort of obviously moving to Melbourne and then going to Collingwood? Like, were there any boys that you bonded with early, and who did you get drafted with, sort of thing, like that were around at the same time as you?
Well, it was a pretty abrupt sort of turnaround. Yep. Whatever day it was, say I got picked up on the Saturday or whatever. I was living in Melbourne on the Monday or Tuesday, you know. Oh, wow. So it was like really fast. Pretty much just packed up a bag and moved down, and I moved in with Jack Crisp straight away, and I was supposed to be in there for 2 weeks, but we clicked pretty well, and I ended up staying there for like 7 months or something. And, so it was good with him and his wife, and then I was drafted with like Josh Jacobs and Callum Brown and stuff, so they're still around. There was a couple other boys who have come and gone. But yeah, so I pretty much just, my main connections in the first year were blokes like Jack Crisp or Will Hoskin-Elliott.
Yep.
In my first year, just those sort of guys, and then just sort of make new friendships along the way, you know.
Of course, as always.
Yeah.
Was that Will's first year from GWS to Collingwood? Like, was he? Yeah. So he would have had it as well. Yeah. So how was sort of that step up from playing country footy to go into probably the biggest club in Melbourne, sort of thing? Like, how was that change, sort of thing?
I'll tell you what, if anyone watches this, that would have watched me in my first 3 years, I probably got bullied by every bloody opposition ever. So actually really surprised. I don't know how I got another contract like during those times. I was I'm only just starting to come into good footy now. So it was different. It was very different because going from the country footy or whatever. So when I was playing at the Tigers or Gindy Bulldogs, I was the main key forward. So pretend like I could have kicked, I think the best I kicked was like 9 goals 2 or something like that. But it's like I could have got the ball kicked to me 30 times in the game, you know. So whereas you don't really get as many opportunities against good defenders, and plus coming in as a first year, I wasn't the main target. So didn't get much of the ball, and also, you know, I'm pretty sure my first game or whatever for the Pies, I bloody skinny as and came up and played against Tom Bellchambers or something. So I was like, Jesus,
it's big.
This footy thing's a hard game. How I'm going to make it.
But, clearly Buck saw something in you, and he continues to see something in you.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing was just getting in the gym and getting a bit of size about me, you know, like being able to get a bit of strength and hold my own a bit.
Of course.
But yeah, so it was a hard transition in terms of that. Just, going from, like I said, playing on a 4-foot bloke compared to fully grown man is just a big step up.
Yeah. Obviously we spoke about Bucks and, you know, giving you that opportunity. How is Bucks sort of just as like a mentor in that? Obviously he's not long out of footy. Like, he didn't retire obviously like decades ago, but so how is he as sort of like a mentor and be able to like work under him and everything like that?
No, well, he's really good. I suppose getting up in front of the group and sort of bringing everyone together. But in terms of one-on-one, don't really do that much stuff. You sort of work more with your line coach or whoever. So when I was playing my best footy last year, it was more doing one-on-one stuff with Scott Selwood.
Yep.
He's been like bloody a ripper for my game, just instilling real confidence and belief in my game. So I couldn't speak highly enough of Scoot. So just I suppose it's like anything though. You gravitate to people who you're similar to or more, or your friends or whatever. So you sort of, it's the same with coaches. You just spend more time with people you just connect with.
Yep.
It's like, in terms of the player-coach relationship, it's not good nor bad. It's just what works for you.
How it is, yeah. That's more fair. Obviously, and then your 2020 debut, you finally got out on the park, pretty much middle of the hub and everything like that. That video of you being announced as like your first game, where Bucks says you're just a boy with a mullet now, but you got your dream.
Yeah, that
is an awesome video. Was that sort of the first like idea that you were going to play that week?
Well, I kind of thought, like I could have played since early in the year. I was like, I'm playing good footy.
Good game,
I'm just waiting for that chance, sort of thing. So when it finally came, I was like, I seriously got the shakes. I was like sitting there, and then the being told I was going to debut, it actually sort of went like, it was funny and it was exciting, and then it was just like embarrassing and all that. So it was pretty funny. So I was sitting down, and then I saw my face pop up on the screen, and I was like, oh, like shit, this could be it, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then they played a video of me, and I'm like it sort of set it in, and I was like, I'm debuting, this is sick. And then Buck said some words, and it was all good. And then he goes, oh, by the way, like Izzy's here. So my girlfriend was there, and she was standing by me. I was like, well, like she was at the hub with me. I knew she was around, but I was like, I didn't expect her in a team meeting. So then I was like, standing there, and I was like, I was literally like, I didn't know what to do. So I was pretty much just waving to her, and they're like, oh, come on, like come together sort of thing. And then I've like went into the middle, and Iz and I are not really huge on the whole public display. So got in the middle, and then I just gave her a hug or whatever, and everyone's giving me shit like, oh, and kiss her, all that stuff. And then I was like sort of giving everyone the bird, and then went and sat down, and then it was just got awkward. I was like, Iz and I was standing there just going, oh, we don't know what to do.
That's like primary school. Like you're like asking a girl in primary school.
Literally met in the whole group, and then Bucks made some comment of like, we got another surprise, like I was going to propose to her or something. And I was like, oh.
Pressure's on.
Don't spring this on me.
That's unreal. That's actually so good. Then obviously your game came through. How was that experience, your first game, being able to play?
Yeah, it was really, really cool. Like obviously it sort of didn't play out in the way that I imagined it in my head in terms of the impact on the game and stuff, but it was, I played the game nonetheless. So exactly. I have really positive sort of memories about it. And it was just also, it was different, like the whole year I played in the ruck and then played majority of the time forward. I was like, sort of didn't really know what I was doing. And also playing on Harris Andrews was pretty good. He's
that hurts a bit.
Yeah, but it was pretty funny. So I was just kind of like, I haven't played much forward at all this year.
Yep.
And then I'm coming up against like obviously one of the best defenders in the game.
Probably the best defender in the comp last year and stuff like that.
I was just kind of like, stuff this, I'll just talk shit to him. I was just I don't know, just trying to be a little niggly idiot sort of thing. But then he's
a little 6'5".
Yeah, well, I was just talking shit, like bumped into him or something, and then I was like, oh yeah, like hurt you there, didn't I? And he's playing the big macho man, like, nah, you didn't hurt me at all. And I was just going, oh come on, like I want you to take the piss out of me or something because I'm feeling a bit nervous, mate.
That's good. It's a tough first assignment though, coming up against Harris. You just kind of got to do what you can to put him off slightly at least.
Well, it was good. And then had a good chat to him after the game and stuff. So it was fine.
Yeah, awesome. Were you sort of like nervous going into the game at all, or had your nerves kind of settled during the week, or?
It probably didn't help actually that I was told that I was debuting the day before the game. Wow. So sort of like normally it's 2 days before. So I had all these nerves and stuff, but then also I was getting messages and texts from like bloody every which angle. So I probably was like hyped for too long. So I was like, when I got to the next day, I was like, oh geez, like I feel a little bit drained almost, but then all the nerves and stuff came back, and I was ready and raring to go, and just wanted to get out there, sort of thing. But yeah, hopefully it's not the last time that I get that feeling.
I'm absolutely sure it won't be. I'm sure you'll be definitely out in the park. And from what I saw a few articles. You've been training the house down apparently so far. So
no, I wouldn't say training the house down, but I'm just hanging out for games. I want to play against some opposition.
Of course, absolutely. And this year's obviously going to be a lot more like normal, where it's not sort of you'll learn the day. Because when you learnt that you were playing, was that during when it was like the footy frenzy, where they played like how many games in how many weeks?
I'm not sure. It was round 15, so that probably was around that sort of time.
Yeah.
But we sort of knew our schedule. Therefore, it wasn't like, we're playing in 2 days and we didn't know about that sort of thing. It was so yeah. I was just kind of thinking, I'm playing in the twos or just whoever we're playing against this weekend. But yeah, it was a pleasant surprise.
That's always good. Absolutely. So obviously Collingwood next year, obviously going to hope to play some games in a sort of normal season where there's no, COVID, and, the fans will hopefully be there and you'll be able to play in front of the big crowds and everything. But obviously this year lost a few boys from your side. How do you think sort of it's going to change do you think the team is still going to be just as good this year? And will it, your new improvements in that cover the losses of the likes of Steve-O and Treloar and stuff like that?
Yeah. Well, I think it's really hard to tell, because looking at any list, you go, geez, they're going to be a gun team this year. They've always got talent, because every other AFL team has talent. So from what we can tell from training, I feel like the boys are in really good nick and we've got good chemistry. But the problem is we're always playing against each other. Yeah. So it's like we're playing Collingwood footy against Collingwood footy. So until we actually get an opposition, you can't really tell how it's going to stack up. It's like everyone sort of says in the preseason, it's like no one wins premierships in January, No, so absolutely. Well, February now, geez, it's going bloody quick. But,
I was going to say we're kind of stuck into February at this point.
Yeah. So yeah, but that's why I'm sort of hanging out for games as well. You're not playing against your mates anymore. You can actually go out there and hit some bodies and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I couldn't tell you, to be honest. I think so, but who knows?
And you get to play, on the G in front of 80,000 people now. That'll be something that hasn't been seen in a little while.
Yeah, well, hope so. Anyway, hopefully crowds are back, but obviously there's still going to be restrictions in terms of how many or the interaction between players and the crowds and stuff. So
of course,
hopefully get some people rocking up to the twos games as well if I'm still there.
I'm a big fan of the VFL, so I'll be down there. Don't you worry about that.
Lovely.
So into sort of your personal life and that, do you do sort of motorbike riding? Is that one thing that was big for you? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a huge fan of motorbikes. Or riding them. My dad, he's a motorbike nut sort of thing. So he's I've always grew up on them and all that, but I haven't really had to learn a hell of a lot about them, because if any time there was a problem with my bike, I'd just give it to Dad.
Yeah, me look it up.
So love riding them, and got my bike here in Melbourne with me, but Dad's the wizard with it.
I saw as well that you designed and made a skateboard over COVID and everything. That looks sick. I like that.
Yeah, so I've done that a fair bit over my time. I've made maybe 7 or 8 skateboards or something, and again, progressively got better. My first couple snaps pretty quick, but yeah, so I sort of love the woodwork and design side of things. So made a couple of them, and just made another one that's the same height as me. I made a 6'7" board to try and get a couple of my mates on the board, and it's going well, but still back in Albury, still with Mum and Dad, so I can't imagine they'd be riding it too much either.
They'll be test riding a little bit. I can't wait to see that on your Instagram. I'm sure that'll pop up at some point.
Yeah, no doubt.
Mate, so you're a jack of all trades. You got soccer, footy, motorbike riding, skateboard making as well. You're doing everything.
Oh yeah. Soccer and footy was just because of my mates, but yeah, the rest of it, so surfing, motorbike riding, and skateboarding's all been from my dad.
Oh yeah.
He's grew up on that stuff. So ultimately I grew up on that stuff, like, so
Always the way.
every family holiday we'd go down to the beach, go surfing, and then go to the skate park when we're not surfing, and then go back out and surf again, and then motorbike rides with Dad and get the dirt bikes and stuff. So always been into
it. Yeah, I got sort of my love for footy off Dad as well, but he went for the Pies, and I'm a Saints man. So yeah, bloody I didn't cop that, and they ended up winning the grand final against us, and I'm still sitting here 54, how many years after the first premiership. Oh well, we'll get there.
Yeah, what can you do? Come on, the Saints. Get there, mate.
This year, mate. This year. And also your sister plays footy as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So she moved down a couple of years ago to play for the Pies in the VFL.
Yep.
But now she's moved to Darebin to play in the women's footy as well. Just just similar to the men's VFL, just more opportunity in a standalone club. And by all reports, I think she's loving it there. Good bunch of people down at the club, and sounds like the women's footy of the Darebin club is the sort of the top of it. So they she's really loving it there and getting as much opportunity as she can. So hopefully it goes well for her this year.
Awesome. Speaking of your sister as well, and sort of towards the Instagram side of things, there's that video of you from however many years ago where you're shouting her out for her birthday or whatever it is. And
for Chrissy.
What happened there?
So I was trying to convince my mum that I wasn't hungover on Christmas morning, because I went out with my mates the night before, and she's mum and dad they're not drinkers at all. So yeah, you can sense the disappointment every time I'm hungover or something. So I rolled in Chrissy morning, or like whatever time it was, and then mum's going like sort of getting up me about being hungover, and my sister had to work an active night over Christmas. So I was sending her a video, and essentially when I'm saying Merry Christmas, mum's decided to get all her nice wine glasses out and put them in the middle of my hallway. So when I'm saying Merry Christmas, Sally, I've booted all of her wine glasses and shattered them all on the ground, and you can hear mum go, "Oh!" in the background sort of thing, because I caught one of the biggest sprays of my life there. But I'm just going, what the hell are you putting your bloody wine glasses on the floor for starters? And now I've just kicked them all across the living room sort of thing. So.
Every time I've watched that, it's so hard. Like, I piss myself every time. It's great. But every single time, I don't actually know like what's going on, because you hear the shatter and you see your face and you hear your mum's reaction. But you never I had no idea what it was, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But that's so funny.
All mum's nice wine glasses are gone. Yeah, once again, Max ruins family Christmas.
So your Instagram, you've got some absolutely hilarious videos on there. You got like the Hub Life summaries from last year that kind of I feel like widened you out. Like that was kind of what made you so well known to a lot of people, is your summaries of the hubs. They were hilarious.
Show what all the boys are doing.
They were hilarious. And even the Pies Twitter and that got around it, and Pies Instagram just started sharing all your stuff. They love you there.
It's good. Yeah, it's good fun. The blokes in the Pies media as well, like they're so good as well, because I come at them with like a ridiculous idea, and then they're like, "Yep, let's bloody do it," sort of thing. So there's a couple with it where you can see that they've got their real good cameras using it, real clear sort of camera work, and then I just take it away and edit it up. It's got really good pastime for me as well. It's really fun sort of editing up, and I'm amusing myself sort of thing. And then when I come to a problem, I go like, "Go on, like boys, can you help me out," sort of thing. Clean this up for me. It's looking shit. That's good.
You had the video of you getting the COVID test like every week. How many did you have to do a week for that?
At that point, it was like once or twice a week. Shit. At the moment, we haven't had it much at all. I think we're going back to once a week.
Yeah.
But yeah, geez, you after that many times as well, you pick who you want to go to as well. There's a couple where you go, oh, they're nice, like they're gentle, and then there's other blokes that just go whack it up there. So
that's bad.
Yeah,
I've only had to ever get it once.
Taste my brain like on the bloody swab.
I've only ever had to do it once, because it was in the middle of like the 2 Victorian lockdowns, and I went away with my missus to Coffs Harbour, And it was right as Victoria was starting to become known again as the COVID state. And so we got there and we got to like the resort and they hated it. And so they made us go and get a COVID test before we did anything really.
Oh.
And it was the worst experience of my entire life, I think. Like they did both sides of my mouth and then both nostrils.
Yeah.
Horrific.
There's a couple, normally they just rub it between their fingers like that. I had a person in Albury, when they did it, I could see their hand doing that. I was like, geez. If they pushed any further, their hand would be in my mouth. Like, yeah, it's not fun.
Absolutely terrible. And then obviously the boy with a mullet and a dream. It's just your tagline, and obviously Bucks mentioned it in your debut thing, but now you're just the boy with the dream, aren't you?
The boy with the dream.
That's unfortunate.
I couldn't fully commit to getting rid of it either. I've left a little bit there.
I was going to say I could see it poking out the back a little bit.
Yeah, but I've just sort of got it up here and then sort of a little bit. But I'm just sort of waiting for it all to grow out. I'll let the sides grow out. I'll never go back to a short back and sides.
No?
Nah, I'll let it all grow out and pull it back.
No, I saw, for your Instagram as well. Is there like the reason behind the whole mullet thing and sort of what it is about?
Well, I started off doing it's called the Mullets for the Kids.
Yep.
So you grow a mullet to raise money for the Royal Melbourne Children's Hospital. So I sort of did that, and then it was kind of both. It was like I was growing one anyway, and I was like,
may as well do it for a reason.
Yeah. So I don't look like such a bogan. But then when I started growing it, I was like, I just really like it, and then. And so it ended in December or something. So I kept it around for a couple more months, but then I was like, I've been growing it for about a year or so, or a bit over a year. So now I'm ready for a change and look a bit cleaner again. So, and my girlfriend was pretty flat when I got it cut, actually. She
really?
It, but, yeah.
Usually it's the other way.
Yeah. Normally it would be, but yeah, she liked it for some reason. Yeah.
So after that, what's sort of next for you? Obviously, you're still very young into footy and you've still got, I'm sure, a very big career ahead of you. Is there any sort of things you're doing outside of footy that are going to kind of you do more after you're done? Or?
Well, yeah, I've been going to uni since my first year, I think. Yep. So I just do primary school teaching.
Oh, yeah.
And,
awesome.
But yeah, unsure if that's something that's really sort of inspiring for me or anything. So I actually did like a introductory day at Nova 100 to potentially get into something like radio. You're like, because I love making my videos and I love talking shit, so I could potentially move into something like that, like get into radio or something like that. But yeah, so just sort of keeping my options open and trying to figure out what I want to do. So yeah, could potentially get into more stuff like this, do podcasts or something, or
it's the new thing apparently.
Yeah, so. Who knows? Or, footy career could end and, I don't know, go on a shitty reality TV show or something. I don't know.
Was that a bloody Dank Orange?
Yeah, or inspired.
I was going to say. That's good.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know yet.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, like, I saw that you were on the Chris Salmon Brownie Instagram page the other day. I was going to say if you're doing any sort of radio work in the coming few months or anything like that.
Well, yeah, they were really, really good, actually. They just sort of gave me the general overview of what it's all about there and how everything sort of works. I was pretty overwhelmed at the start. There's so much going on behind the scenes. And, but, yeah, so I might pop my head in there a couple more times, see what it's all about. But, yeah, just sort of just want to dip my toe into, like, a bunch of different things and see what I like the most. But yeah, I'm going to be a busy boy this year. You're doing the radio, footy, and uni. So
and Instagram.
I'm also getting a dog. So
I need a dog as well.
Yeah, going to get a big fella, big Newfoundland.
Oh, I wanted to be in here. I've got a Newfoundland.
Do you?
Yeah. Oh, when you said a big fella, I was like, oh, he's going to say like, a big like lab or something like that. And no one I've ever known knows what a Newfoundland is.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
So I'm getting one. Yeah, get him in here.
All right, I'll go and I'll actually go grab it.
Wow.
So this is Ziggy. He doesn't want to come
Oh,
in.
he's shut off.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so that's a Newfoundland as well, which is unbelievable. Mate, I never knew that.
Yeah.
I've literally not known another person to know what a Newfoundland is. That's great.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was looking into Bernese Mountain Dogs, and then
Of course.
I kind of was just like, oh, I don't know. I know a few people, I would see a few people around, and then I saw the Newfoundland, and then I was like, oh, these things are bloody mad. So I've been in the waiting list for a while now, and then the puppies were born Chrissy Eve, so I'll get them in about just maybe the end of the month or just start of March, I think. Yeah.
Do you know where you're getting them from at all? Because it might be the same sort of place where.
Yeah, I'm getting it from Pakenham.
Oh, okay. Mine were from like Lansfield, like out that way. It's a distance.
Yeah,
it was, but I was thinking they might be the same thing because we got ours in December as well. So like December. So
yeah,
there you go.
Well, yeah, get the big fella. How do you go feed him? He or she?
Yeah, so we used to feed her just chicken carcasses, like just the bones of just chicken, and that was it. And they're cheap too. Like it's like $3 for a kilo or something like that.
Yeah.
So that used to be the number one thing, and now mum literally pampers this dog more than anything in the entire world. This dog is the most spoiled dog ever. Like when we first got it, she didn't want a dog, and then I convinced her, and then we got it, and now it's her baby. Like literally. Yeah. Mum cooks.
How old is he?
3 now, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And so now she cooks her meat, soy sauce, fried rice, peas, and carrot. Makes it all at the start of the week, and then freezes it, and then each night puts it in the microwave for 1:10. Has to be 1:10, no more, no less. And puts dry food and then that over it, and then gives it to the dog.
That's so good. I'm sure I'll be doing something very similar.
That's actually unreal.
Excited. Yeah. So.
That is hilarious. And the dog's run off. Not going to be here anymore.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Oh, that's so good.
That's awesome, mate. Thank you so much for coming on. Obviously, we got a bit sidetracked towards the end with the dog, but
that's right, mate. Probably what I'm most passionate about at the moment.
That is good, and I love that you know what they are, which is always a good start. That was awesome. But thank you so much for coming on. Obviously, it's a great thing to do. Just starting out this thing and having a bloke like you on, who is very, very well known. I would say arguably the most well known one game player in the league at the moment.
Yeah, bro.
And probably of all time so far.
Definitely not for my footy ability. Yeah.
No, but mate, thank you so much. This has been awesome. And hopefully chat to you soon.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, mate.
All the best. See ya.
See ya.